What's up guys, it's Elliot here, and today I'm bringing you another guide on the channel. So I figured, now that Season 3 is over, and it's all sad, but I figured I would talk about the hero that I worked on the most this season, and that is Soldier 76. It's the reason I'm now playing more DPS, and it's the reason I've been able to climb up and stay at a mid-plat level, because I now can trust myself with the DPS burden, instead of relying on, my other DPS and playing tank and stuff. And while you can still make a big impact and climb from anywhere, being able to trust myself on DPS has really helped me. It's given me more confidence, and it's really just, it's made everything a little more fun to play DPS once in a while. So let's dig into it. So firstly, the biggest thing about Soldier is his whole kit and the way you need to play with him really ties together really effectively. So to start with, positioning is the one thing you want to really start by focusing on in Soldier. And he has a great ability to do that. He has Sprint. You can get to positions quickly, and it's really effective because you can run around unlimitedly a lot faster than most other heroes in the game. So you first off want to take the high ground, because you can get a lot of position because he is hit scan. You can take a good position, you can see a lot, and you can reliably just poke at people with your point and click. That's all you have to do. Hit scan heroes, you just point and they deal damage when you pull the trigger if they're in your reticule. So that's the best thing. High ground gives you the best ability to do that. And the other thing is you typically want to be by your healers somewhat, because you can drop healing for them with your biotic grenade, and they should be up on the high ground with you, but if they're not, you want to keep an eye where they are so you can kind of stand near them to protect them, because if someone comes to flank them or dive them, you can heal them and yourself, and then you can take out the flanker, and if they don't get a pick, they're just throwing their lives away, and you're successfully holding on defense. So that's the defensive point of it. And then the offensive point would be when your team goes in, if you get a pick, you want to take the high ground, so when their enemy team is being distracted by the ground battle, like Ryan v Ryan or something, you can be poking at their heads away from the side, from high ground. It's really inconvenient for them to have to turn and deal with you because it's really hard for them to kill you. You can turn around and use hover really quickly with sprint. You can drop heals. It takes an effort to get Soldier out, and really, besides Roadhog, no one's going to do it 1v1, and that's what makes him extremely survivable for DPS, and that's why he's extremely good, is because it takes an effort to get rid of him. So now I'm talking about positioning and high ground. You want to be by your healers so you can just point and click and just wipe things. The next part is target prioritization, because now that you're in good positioning, you want to know who to shoot at. And it's always about high priority, but Soldier really has the ability to shoot anyone. He can shoot at squishies, he can shoot other DPS, he can deal with flankers, he melts tanks. And that's the biggest thing, is you want to talk to your team about who needs to be hit. Because if other people get low, you can turn and point and click at them. And that's the thing, because he has reliable damage, he can spread his damage out among the enemy team, he can milk them down, and if you have another DPS who deals a burst to them and then suddenly they get to like 1 or 2 shot, you can point at them and hopefully put a couple bullets in them, or you can fire Helix Rocket at someone at half HP to just try to wipe them. Both of those happen all the time when I play Soldier, and I really focus on that. Because you can fire at anybody, and that's the thing. Typically, I start by firing at tanks a lot, because it charges your ult, and you want to melt Rhine Shield, and then you can melt Roadhog down because you can hit their huge hitboxes. But you want to focus on who's the biggest threat to your team. So obviously, along with that, so if they're flanking you, you want to protect your healers, and anyone jumping in, you want to protect the point. And because you have sprint, and this is what goes hand in hand, you can turn around from a position and run back to the point, or run back to someone getting shot, and be there very quickly to deal with someone diving. And that's what's great about Soldier, is he can kind of be everywhere, and he can shoot at anyone pretty reliably. So he's just a huge nuisance like that. So besides just shooting at tanks to melt them and dealing with flankers, you want to try to pick off the squishies in the back. You want to land Helix Rockets, and that's how you get the kill. That's your burst. But you only have it every 8 seconds, so you want to use it effectively. Because if you use your Helix Rockets effectively, you will score a lot of kills. So now that I'm talking about how to point and click and everything, and how you can securely, your reliable damage, how you can pick people off in the back when they're squishy, and you talk with your team, figure out who needs to be shot, who's low, shoot at them, clean them up, burst damage, all that good stuff because you're reliable. The last thing is his ult, which makes him even more reliable. It's a free aimbot, Tac Visor. It's a great aimbot. It suddenly takes all those target prioritization. Everything you need to hit, you can now hit easily. It also takes high ground into effect. Everything I told you blend together, because if you come from a high ground angle where they can't block it with like a Rhine Shield, or from the side angle where you get around the Rhine Shield, you can just pick people off in a matter of like milliseconds. You can just like pop, 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 just kill someone. So obviously, you want to focus then on squishies. You want to take the squishies out with Tac Visor. You can get many of them. It's a really reliable way to hit their healers and their DPS and all that good stuff, and you can just really deal great damage to their squishies because you're just auto-aiming at them. I typically do that, but if there's no one else to shoot at, again, I will shoot at the tanks. Kind of similar, to normal shooting, but that's the point, is you want to take out their squishies and you want to just burst them down. You can use this basically just to get rid of healers, get the picks you need to either defend a point or take the point, and it's great. And obviously from the position you want to take it from the high ground, you can run with your sprint to get in a little bit better position while you're doing it, and you can kind of get around the point a little bit to just have a better angle. That's all Soldier 76 is really about. It's taking the right angles so you can just hit your reliable DPS. So all you want to do is take the right angles to pick the people off that you need to pick off. So the last thing I'm going to talk about now that you know how to play him and the basics to improving play, I'm just going to talk about the heroes that you should pick him for and the heroes that you don't want to play him into. So currently he's really strong, he's been popular, he's really good hit scan. The main thing he does is deal with Pharah. Now he can't deal by himself, that's a huge thing. No one except for Widow can deal with Pharah by themselves. But Soldier's a good start with that, because Pharah's flying around, he can reliably just point and deal damage to her. And if he's on the high ground, he's closer to her level, so he can deal even more damage to her, and it makes Pharah's angle worse, because she can't always hit the ground from the same level as someone, which makes her damage either all or nothing for the most part. So he's a great start for dealing with people who are in the air. He's a great hero to pick, really in any comp, just because he's reliable. Because if you have someone like Pharah on your team for attack, she can get a lot of frags in there, but you need someone to clean them up, kind of like Tracer or Soldier, someone with hit scan or McCree. That's why you pick hit scan, just clean up kills. Because if all your damage is like AoE, like if you have a Junkrat Hanzo, the other team can just heal it all. But if you have someone picking the right targets and firing, they'll clean up. You don't always have to go double hit scan. Maybe for a Pharah you will, but that's the thing. There's never really a bad time to pick Soldier right now. But if your team already has a hit scan and you're more comfortable with another DPS, you could probably consider going them to flank or to just to deal bigger damage, because hit scan, you might already have hit scan to deal with what you need to. But there's never a bad time to pick him, but the right time to pick him is pretty much always against always against Pharah. And you almost need hit scan for that. Soldier's the best hit scan right now for doing that, and it's really good. He can pick people off from long range. The healer's rocket too, to help kind of deal with Bastions and Torb, and he has lower spread than they do, so it's a little more reliable. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I hope it was informative. I'll give you a brief overview of Soldier and makes him really good and why he's so strong right now. I worked a lot on him to improve, so hopefully you guys can take some of my advice to heart and improve on him, because he's really good and he still will be good in Season 4. So hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.